Every story about the relatable influencer starts the same way. Someone sits down in front of a camera, bad lighting, no script, messy bedroom, and they just talk. They're awkward, they make weird jokes, they don't really know what they are doing, but somehow, this is what millions of people have been waiting for. Social media initially positioned itself as the antidote to the traditional celebrity culture. Hollywood celebrities felt distant and manufactured, while influencers felt real. They talked about their relationships, bad breakups, insecurities, burnout, and shared every little detail of their lives with us. Audiences loved it because it felt like proximity, like it's just a regular person who just happens to post content and we kind of hang out together. What's more, in comparison with Hollywood celebrities, there was a sense of influencers being almost democratically selected. While actors and musicians got popular because of their ability to make good deals, their proximity to people in power, and well, nepotism, influencers became successful because of us, because of our likes, our comments, our watch time. They weren't planted by the industry, they were chosen by the people. But that model had a built-in contradiction. If relatability is what guarantees success, eventually success itself destroys that relatability. And that is now impossible to ignore. To understand why that shift matters, you first have to understand why relatability was so important in the first place. As I said before, early social media kind of positioned itself as the antidote or the antithesis to the traditional celebrity culture. Traditional fame depended on distance. Celebrities were so powerful partly because they were inaccessible. They existed behind carefully curated images and had publicists who made sure that nobody knew what those people were actually thinking about anything. Because you weren't supposed to feel close to them, you were supposed to project onto them. Social media disrupted this completely because public figures weren't scripted and filtered anymore. They were filming themselves and posting it in real time. That changed what audiences value: authenticity over professionalism, messiness over perfection. Because the less produced someone seemed, the more real they felt. Because realness became so valuable, creators started optimizing for it. The problem was, and still is, that once someone becomes successful, it's nearly impossible for them to be relatable and authentic at the same time. Relatability only works under certain conditions. It requires that the audience feels like they are in some way similar to the influencer. But that cannot happen if all the influencer posts is their multi-million-dollar mansion, fancy brand trips, and luxury fashion hauls. At a certain point, the performance breaks, and once the audience notices the gap between how the influencer presents themselves and how they actually live, their relationship can never be the same. It doesn't happen because money is inherently evil or because a rich influencer is seen as a sellout. It happens because pretending money hasn't changed you feels dishonest, and there is nothing less relatable than someone insisting they are still relatable.
I started this 14 years ago when I was literally on food stamps, broke as hell. I had no clue that you could make a dime doing social media. I genuinely started it for the love of it. The only reason I'm still here is because of you guys, because of the community.
And that is why the relatable influencer era is ending. Because audiences became much more literate in influencer performances. They understand branding mechanics, they understand how monetization works, they know the creator tricks to increasing retention, and they can smell curated authenticity from miles away. If you want to understand what the relatable influencer era was and why it's effectively over, you start with Emma Chamberlain. In 2017, a 16-year-old from California posted a YouTube video in which she did a try-on thrift haul. Within 2 years, she was one of the fastest growing creators on YouTube. By 2019, Louis Vuitton came calling, the first time a major luxury house had partnered with a YouTuber, then Cartier, then the Met Gala red carpet interviewing celebrities for Vogue, then Architectural Digest photographed her home. What made Emma's content so revolutionary and what attracted people to her in the first place was that she wasn't only messy and relatable, but she felt fully honest. She made content out of the fact that she doesn't have her life together, and she talked to the camera the way I talk to myself when nobody's around. As her viewer, I didn't feel like I was watching an influencer. I felt like I was hanging out with my type B friend who somehow made me feel okay about being a teenager and trying to figure life out. But then the problem with every relatable influencer occurred. The more successful she got, the less relatable she felt. When she was a broke high schooler living with her parents, she was my friend. When she attended the Met Gala, she was just another celebrity I had nothing in common with. And I wasn't the only one who felt this way. The numbers tell the story plainly. Her videos from 2019 and before regularly hit 6 to 10 million views, with some well above that. Her recent YouTube videos average 1 to 2 million. And let's not kid ourselves, that is still a lot of views, but it's noticeably less. The audience that formed a parasocial relationship with an awkward teenager is now watching a fashion icon and feeling the distance. I know my life and Emma's life are nothing alike, and there is probably nothing that could mend our relationship at this point. And the frustration isn't really about Emma. I mean, she didn't do anything wrong, she just became successful, and honestly, I'm really happy for her. At the same time, her persona, the casual type B, self-deprecating girl, doesn't really fit red carpets and Hollywood after parties. There is a growing mismatch, and as the audience, I'm painfully aware of it. If Emma Chamberlain was the pioneer of the relatable era, Alix Earle is its final, perfected form. Alix started posting while studying at the University of Miami in 2020. Most of her popularity came from her Get Ready With Me videos, which felt more like FaceTiming a friend rather than watching an influencer do makeup. She would talk about everything, her insecurities, skin problems, relationships, plans, and none of it felt performed. What followed is now an industry legend. Her Get Ready With Me videos turned her into one of the most commercially powerful creators out there. The Alix Earle effect was coined. A single mention of a product in one of her videos could sell it out within hours. Brands competed for her endorsement. By now, she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars per sponsored post, with some sources claiming she can command up to $450,000 per post. Her net worth is estimated at $20 million. And still, the relatable brand held. Her content retained this chaotic intimacy even when the settings changed from dorm rooms to fancy hotels. The difference between Alix and other relatable influencers is that she never tried to sell herself as relatable in the old school sense. Yes, she uses the messy authenticity aesthetics, the chaotic get ready with me's, the casual oversharing, but she's also openly aspirational. The luxury, the trips, the status, beauty, money, all of the things that are part of her life are also visible in her videos, and I would say she even embraces them. And that's why the audience forgives her, because she doesn't try to hide it. She may not be relatable anymore, but she is authentic. Because the issue isn't money, it's saying, I'm just like you, and then showing us that they're nothing like us. And Alix feels like someone who unapologetically enjoys what she worked for without hiding under fake modesty or authenticity that isn't real. And maybe I feel this way because my parasocial relationship with Alix is completely different from the one that I have with Emma. Because I met Emma when she was just a normal teenager like me, and when I met Alix, she was already making millions and going on all those fancy trips. The counterintuitive thing is that the audiences aren't leaving influencers who are wealthy and glamorous. They are leaving influencers who are wealthy and glamorous while pretending not to be.
Because I'm not elite, I'm a normal person.
The influencers who feel most stable in 2026 aren't the ones who are best at performing relatability. They are the ones who are best at showing us their extraordinary lives with authenticity over fake modesty. The creators who have navigated this transition most successfully are the ones who let their persona evolve. Emma's new podcast, Anything Goes, created a new kind of intimacy. She still talks about her thoughts and feelings and what's going on with her life without pretending that she's the same thrift haul girl that we met in 2017. And maybe she isn't relatable anymore, but she is authentic, and I think that's why she is still getting millions of views. Like, obviously it's less than before because some people got bored of her, others like me don't feel the same connection we had in the past, but she still managed this transition without completely alienating her audience, and that's why she built the career that she has. What the most successful path looks like right now is not hiding the wealth, it's being interesting because of it, in spite of it, or in direct conversation with it. The influencer who can say, my life looks nothing like yours, I'm aware of it, and let's talk about it, has way more credibility than the influencer who first does a luxury fashion haul and then tries to convince me she is just like me. This is not a rejection of aspiration, this is a rejection of fake relatability. Aspiration says, here is something cool I did or something cool I own, you are welcome to look and aspire to maybe also do it in the future. Fake relatability says, this is just like your life, and then shows you a life you will probably never have and then dares you to pretend otherwise. But the audiences stopped pretending. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and if you don't know what to watch next, check out this video because I have a feeling you are really going to like this. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye!